Hi readers, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. If this is the first time you've joined me, I encourage you to look around and see what interests you and subscribe if you would, and comment and let me get to know you a little bit better. I love conversing with my subscribers and having conversations about what they're reading, which sometimes informs something that I would like to read. So let's get to know each other. Meanwhile, let's talk about what I read in the month of June. I didn't have a terrible reading month in June, but I didn't get quite as far as I had hoped. So while I'm making great progress on my goal for the year, I'm almost actually at my goal of 40 books, which I set purposefully low because of the fact that I wanted to read some larger books this year. I have kind of forgotten a few of those books in the taking the time to read. I'm not doing a daily reading habit like I have done in the past. I've just, for whatever reason, not made as much time for reading as I sometimes do. But all in all, I feel good about what I completed. And I'm surprised at one of the things that I didn't get to. So let's talk about what happened in June. So one of the things that was on my TBR was Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. The gold foiling was getting in the way. I did finish this. It's a reread for me. I had read this before several years ago. I didn't fly through it, sort of. I got pretty far in at first, and then I put it down for a bit, and then I picked it back up and did finish it pretty quickly. So I'm not sure what happened exactly there, except that I had read it before, and like I said, I wasn't kind of getting in that daily reading habit, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know what I gave it the first time I read it, but I gave it 4 stars. There were a few things that at the end that I had a little bit of trouble with, but overall, it was really great. It was probably more like 4.5 for me, but it was a really great read. I do want to get to Da Vinci Code fairly soon. I did reread also, I guess this was kind of the month of rereads in some ways. I did reread Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I've enjoyed this before, and I enjoyed it again. I think I gave it 4 stars as well. It's a super plot. I won't give it away if you haven't read it, but it's a great murder mystery plot. One of her finest, I would say. And I'm not the biggest fan of Hercule Poirot. I like him okay, but I do prefer Miss Marple. But it's a good one, and I love that it's on a train, and it happens in the winter, so it's snowy, and that was nice because it's not snowy and cool here. It's very, very warm, although I am wearing a light jacket today because the air conditioning to me is just requires sometimes for me to have a light jacket. But I really enjoy this book, and I'm glad I reread it, and I'm now going to scratch it off of my 100 book bucket list so that I can move on to some others that I want to get to on that list. Fierce Kingdom by Jen Phillips, I also adored. This I did read pretty quickly. It was hard to put down. This is a story we talked about when I put it on the TBR and when I hauled it, so I won't go into too much detail, except it's a story of a crime being committed at the zoo and a mother trying to keep her and her son safe. I was really surprised by some of the things that happened in this book, and the ending was way different than I anticipated it would be, and I'm not sure how I felt about it, but well done. Very well done. Glad I read it. I might reread it. I enjoyed it a lot. The 4th book that I read this month was a surprise to me, and I only read it because it came up on my library holds, and so I had a specific time to get to it, and that was 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I had put that on the list for me to read on ebook, and I got it, and it was a slow start for me. The premise behind this novel is that a man who owns a bookstore has written a blog post years prior about 8 perfect murders that could be committed based on the plots of 8 novels, 8 mystery novels. And suddenly there are some murders happening where he lives near Boston or in Boston, and the FBI has come to his door to talk to him about that blog post because people are being murdered and they're kind of following the plots of those mysteries in that blog post. The FBI wants him to help them discover who might be committing the crimes. One of the things I didn't love about it is that he spoils the plots of the books that he talks about in the blog. So if you haven't read them all, and there were a couple I had not read, then you've gotten a big spoiler. Luckily for me, I probably won't remember when I go to read those books, and I'll just forget all about what was said. But that was a surprise to me a little bit, and a bit of a spoiler for people if they did plan to read those novels. So it was a slow start for me, but I did like it. And in the end, I was pretty happy with it overall, I would say. So I'm glad that I read it. I'm glad that I took the time out to read it. So I didn't yet rate Fierce Kingdom. I was looking to see what I rated all of those, and I haven't yet rated it. And I think it's because I'm not sure how I feel about the way everything wrapped up. But the others were all 4-star reads. I also started listening to 2 books, and one of them was The Splendid and the Vile by Erik Larson. I'm really enjoying it. I just ran out of time, and so I had to put myself back on hold to get it again when it's available. It's a very popular book. I may just buy it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. And the second was Beach Reads by Emily Henry, and I almost finished that. I had like a couple of hours before the end of the month, so I didn't finish it, but I'll talk about that in my July wrap up, because by the time I'm filming this, I actually have finished that, but I can't count it for June because, you know, I'm kind of a rule follower in that way. I did not get to, which was a surprise, Son of a Witch. I really am not sure why. I kept picking it up. I kept putting it on my nightstand or on the table while I was eating lunch or whatever, and I just didn't open it. I didn't even crack it open, but I carried it around for a while. So there was that. And then I didn't get to Locked On, which I didn't pull out because I didn't think I was going to get to it, but I still am really interested in it. So I may add that to July. I'm really struggling with July and what to read in July. I have some books picked out because of the other videos that I've already filmed. I have some books I kind of really want to read in July, and there is the Reading Rush, which is a readathon that happens toward the end of July, the 20th through the 26th, I think. So I'm trying to create a TBR just for Reading Rush. And I'm just I'm really struggling between mood reading and just grabbing something off the shelf and really diligently creating a TBR that I want to follow, especially for a readathon, because I haven't done a readathon in a while. So I'm really struggling with my mood at the moment and what to read. But I do have a couple of things that I know I'm going to get to in July. So Locked On may not be an option. We'll just have to see. But overall, I really had a good, enjoyable reading month. I really felt good about it. I'd love to hear what you read in the month of June, and if you enjoyed it and how you rated it. And I'm watching for my cat because he wants to chew something that's mine and he can't. And just in general, how you felt about your June reading, your first official month of summer, and how you felt about it. Again, I would love for you to subscribe. If you haven't already and you are a subscriber, if you click the little button at the top of the page, I say this every now and again, but if you click that little bell, notification bell, you will get a notification when a new video is posted. So it just kind of gives you a hint of what's happening. And I like that because some of the booktubers I watch, I don't always know that when they're going to publish on a regular basis. They don't have a regular schedule. I also do not always have a regular schedule, as you probably can tell, because I didn't post as much as I had intended to in the month of June. So that just gives you an idea of when I actually got things filmed and edited and uploaded, and that they're ready for you to go. So I appreciate you so much, and I hope, as always, that you're having a very, very happy reading day. Bye.